Am I a failure? That one question, unspoken but heavy, has broken more hearts than harsh words ever could. And if you're asking it, if you've ever whispered it in a moment of weakness, I want you to stay with me. Because what you'll hear today might just change everything you believe about failure, resilience, and the strength that already lives within you. We've been taught to hide our cracks, to wear masks of perfection, to pretend that everything's fine when inside we feel like we're barely holding on. But the truth is, what you see as failure may be the beginning of your greatest rise. Let's talk about it, not with judgment, but with compassion and clarity. It's heartbreaking how easily we start to believe that our identity is defined by what's happened to us. A failed marriage, a painful loss, an unfulfilled dream. These things begin to whisper lies into our hearts, telling us that we are nothing more than what broke us. But hear me when I say this. Your circumstances are not your identity. You are not the pain that tried to silence you. You are not the abandonment that made you question your worth. You are the quiet courage that kept breathing even when it hurt to wake up. You are the silent prayer whispered in the darkness, the smile you gave others even when you felt unseen. You are every small act of grace you extended to yourself when the world had none to give. The things that happened to you may have changed your path, but they have not changed the essence of who you are. You are not your past. You are not your failure. You are the fire that rose from it. We are told from a young age that we must keep moving forward, that life is about ticking boxes and meeting timelines. But no one tells us that real growth doesn't follow a straight line. Sometimes we have to sit in the silence. Sometimes we feel like we're stuck, like we're falling behind, like everyone else is living and we're only surviving. But growth is not about being the loudest or the fastest. It's about being honest. It's about acknowledging the moments where you feel lost and still choosing to continue. Sometimes the greatest progress is in the moments no one sees, the tears you wipe in silence, the effort it takes to forgive yourself, the decision to try again after disappointment. That isn't weakness. That is strength dressed in softness. Growth isn't always forward. Sometimes it's deeper. Sometimes it's downward like roots, anchoring you so that one day, when you're ready, you rise taller than you ever imagined. And that process, it's not a detour. It's the way forward. There comes a point in life when you start to question everything you once believed about success. You begin to see that it's not about the accolades or the applause, not about the neatly framed certificates or the perfect image others see from afar. Success, you realize, is far more personal. It's not something you wear, it's something you feel. Maybe success for you is having the courage to say, "I'm not okay," and still getting up the next morning. Maybe it's learning to live with an unanswered prayer and still believing in goodness. You do not have to meet someone else's definition to feel worthy. Your journey is your own, and so is your victory. Stop measuring your life against timelines that were never meant for your soul. Just because your life unfolded differently does not mean it unfolded wrongly. Sometimes the most beautiful things grow in places no one thought life could exist. So, redefine success in a way that speaks to your truth. Let it be the joy in your heart when you choose peace over perfection. Let it be the softness in your eyes when you forgive yourself. Let it be the quiet strength of holding your head high in a world that tried to bring you down. Starting over can feel like the hardest thing in the world. There's this weight, this invisible heaviness, that comes with picking up the pieces when no one's watching. But there's also something incredibly beautiful about it. You get to begin again, not as the person you were, but as the person you're becoming. Starting over isn't a sign of failure. It's a sign of hope. It's the quiet rebellion that says, "My story isn't over yet." And no, it doesn't come with fanfare or validation. Most people won't see the internal battles you're fighting or the courage it takes to try again. But you will know. And that's enough. Whether you're rebuilding your life, your heart, or your identity, every step you take is a testament to your resilience. You're not back at the beginning. You're standing at a new chapter, one only you can write. There are wounds we carry that no one can see. Not because they are invisible, but because we've become so good at hiding them behind smiles, responsibilities, and silence. Emotional scars don't fade like the physical ones. They linger, shaping how we speak to ourselves, how we trust others, and how we walk through life. And yet, these scars are not signs of weakness. They are reminders that you've survived what tried to break you. You kept loving even when your heart was tired. You kept believing even when you had every reason to stop. That kind of endurance isn't taught. It's born from pain, grown through perseverance. When you begin to look at your scars with compassion instead of shame, you start to see them differently. You see them as proof that you fought, that you endured, that you didn't give up. Pain doesn't make you any less. If anything, it makes you more empathetic, more human, more alive. And healing isn't about forgetting what hurt you. It's about honoring the strength it took to survive it. There's this voice in our heads that tells us we can only love ourselves when we've earned it. When we've achieved more, looked better, done something impressive. But that voice is wrong. Self-love is not a reward. It's a right. And the most powerful act of love you can offer yourself is the kind that shows up when you feel least deserving of it. Love yourself when you feel like a mess. Love yourself when you fail, when you fall, when you feel forgotten. That's the love that heals. That's the love that sticks. It's easy to love yourself on the days when everything is going right. But what about the days when your reflection makes you wince, when your heart is heavy and your confidence is buried? Those are the moments that matter most. Be kind to that version of you. Be gentle with the one who's learning, who's trying, who's still here. Because when you choose love in those moments, you teach yourself that your worth was never up for debate. It was always there, waiting to be remembered. Sometimes the most painful part of healing is realizing that the people we thought would walk with us forever were only meant to teach us a chapter. There is a deep ache that comes from outgrowing relationships, whether it's with friends, partners, or even family, that once felt like home. But when home begins to feel like a cage, it's not abandonment to walk away. It's survival. You are allowed to choose peace over obligation. You are allowed to say, "This no longer feels safe," even when the world tells you to stay silent for the sake of appearances. True relationships mirror your growth. They do not punish it. They support your expansion, your voice, your dreams. And if someone begins to shrink you, question your worth, or make you feel like you're asking too much just by being yourself, that is not love. That is fear disguised as comfort. Let go of the idea that you must remain where you first felt accepted. You are allowed to grow. You are allowed to evolve beyond the versions of yourself that once needed their approval. Love should never ask you to break yourself into pieces to be palatable. Walk away when staying means losing yourself. Your pain has not been in vain. The nights you cried quietly so no one would hear. The mornings you forced a smile when all you wanted was to disappear. Those moments are not meaningless. They are the seeds of something powerful. Because the truth is, the pain you've endured has carved a space inside you for deep purpose. It has given you a kind of wisdom no textbook could ever teach. Maybe you didn't choose the pain, but you can choose what you do with it. You can choose to let it soften your heart, to let it build your compassion, to let it become the voice you offer someone else who's struggling. Turning pain into purpose isn't about pretending everything's fine. It's about saying, "This hurt me, but it didn't end me." Your journey, your resilience, your healing. These can become the roadmap for someone else who feels lost. Your scars can light the way. You don't have to hide them. You can wear them with pride. So, are you a failure? No. You are a woman who has survived storms, worn invisible armor, and kept walking with grace even when her soul felt shattered. You are not broken. You are becoming. If this message touched something inside you, if it reminded you of your strength or helped you breathe a little deeper, then don't let it end here. Like this video, share it with someone who needs to hear this truth. And subscribe for more content that speaks to the soul. But more than that, talk to us. Share your story in the comments. What part of this message spoke to you most? What have you learned from your so-called failures? And if there's a topic you want us to explore next, leave it below. This is your space too. This is a community built not on perfection, but on truth, growth, and the kind of healing that happens when we stop pretending and start becoming. We're listening. and we're walking this journey with you.